Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I'm Nancy with Love to Listen Keller Williams, coming to you from the heart of my home, my kitchen. And today I'm going to be sharing some information with you about how to be resourceful in your kitchen. And, when I think of being resourceful, excuse me, I just want to make sure that I am live here. I'm coming from my computer, which I don't usually do. Okay, when I think of being resourceful, I think of ways to save money up front. So maybe some people are really good at looking at prices, maybe doing coupons and that sort of thing. I'm not as good at that. But anyways, I also think of being resourceful as, not having things go to waste, and then also how you stretch a food item. So I'm going to be sharing with you a few of those type of things with you today. Before I go forward though, I just wanted to say a shout out to my dear cousins. It's kind of interesting for those that you don't know, my mom and dad. My mom's maiden name is Greenwood, and my dad is a Browse. And when they were young, they fell in love and got married. And so a Browse married a Greenwood. Well, I have two cousins. One is a Browse and one is a Greenwood. And Danny and Jackie. And they're like family to us. And they've been so good to my parents. They live in northern Minnesota where my mom lives at the cottage. And so anyways, Danny was like another son to my dad, and Jackie certainly is like a sister and a daughter. And anyways, so I just want to say a shout out. So they got married. So it's a Browse and a Greenwood got married. So I'm cousins with both of them, but of course they're not cousins with each other. Anyways, but Danny's mom passed away, Bonnie, and she was such a love. And I just wanted to say heartfelt thoughts and positive vibes out that way, for all the family members involved, of course, the siblings, Jackie and Carrie Beth, and of course there's extended family. So I just wanted to say lots of love to you all, thinking of you. So before I get into this topic though, let's see, I want to talk to you about a couple of things. Events. I'm doing this Postscript Saturday. I've had some really great topics. I talked about functionary versus fiduciary. I've talked about how using the wrong lender can really affect you, or cost you. So that was a really good one. And this Saturday, it's every Saturday, I'm going to be talking about the ins and outs of what we call a general term, rent back, but it's also known as a post-settlement occupancy agreement. So that's going to be a good one. I also want to remind you the second Saturday of every month I'm doing a home selling seminar. And then July 13th, we've got a fun event coming out. We save the date. It's a home decor swap. Got some comments. I've already had somebody come and drop off stuff here at the house that couldn't even be here. So that was fun. And so we got lots of fun events. And then I do have more of a business event. We've got one or two more spots left, and we're going to post that. It's called Chiseled, a very dear friend of mine, Rob Commodore. It's all about drilling down in your life and having awareness and making your life a more fulfilled life. And he kind of teaches us. It's a half-day retreat that I'm hosting at my house on the 29th. So we're going to be posting that. So I wanted to kind of get that out of the way. So let me share. I've got several things to share with you. Some of them you've probably seen before. But let me start with, let me tell you, I don't have a lot of cupboard space in my kitchen. I've got a little bit of cupboard here, and then I have this walk-in pantry that has my refrigerator in it, has my washer and dryer in it, and I've got some metal racks that I've got containerized canned goods, baked goods, that sort of thing, and all my extra small appliances. So I do have a spot down in the basement. I call it my grocery store. So I'm not one of these like big food preppers, which all the power to you. I think it's great stuff. No judgment there. But I do need extra space, but I'm always trying to figure out ways to get ahead of inflation a little bit and to have stuff on hand so that if I don't have to go out, I don't have to go out. Always keep some backups and whatnot. And it's been really interesting since I started it. I've been keeping track of the different receipts. I have a little jar down there and kind of seeing how things have gone up. So let me just tell you, for instance, this mustard, I only have like 1 or 2 left. So I was looking for mustard today, and I'm going to talk to you about that. But so this mustard I put on my shelf in 9/1/2022. I always mark it, and it goes until the end of this year. So I rotate things so the things that are going to expire first are out in front. So like I said, I only have 1 more mustard, and so when I see something on sale or that I know I'm getting low on, I'll buy 1 or 2. So it's a little bit of a hedge of inflation. So let me explain. It was about $2 in 2022. Today, this was $4. So it does help because, again, this is towards the end of my stash. So I had a couple ahead of it. And anyway, so if you have a place, look at the expiration dates when you buy things. Try and buy things farthest expiration date. So I wanted to tell you about that, if that makes sense. So again, I looked at my 22 receipt, just kind of seeing how costs have gone up. But I also wanted to tell you this is the best mustard on the Yucca app. So it might be a little bit more expensive. I know people can get a lot of things inexpensive at Costco, but it's just Jerry and I. We don't do a lot of Costco shopping because we just don't eat a lot and we don't buy a lot in bulk. But we like quality, and this rates highest on the Yucca app, and you guys have heard me talk about that before. If you want information on that, let me know. I'm happy to talk to you about it. So I thought that was interesting. Speaking of my little downstairs grocery store, these were on sale today for 99 cents, and I used the heck out of petite diced tomatoes. And I'm not necessarily a big store brand person, but again, I did this on the Yucca app, and it rated high. Higher than some of the other ones that I would have thought would have been better, and it was the least expensive. So I went ahead and bought 6 of these, and this doesn't expire until towards the end of 2025. So I'll put those in the back, but again, I'm saving money. They're on sale. I'm buying ahead because we know things may go up even higher. So that's kind of interesting if you watch prices. You know, when I downsized my team and started working from home, and then I was taking care of my mother-in-law, I've had to cook a lot more than I ever did in the past, because when I had a big team and I was down in Ashburn every day at my office, I actually ate out a lot more. And so I really learned how to be more mindful of what I'm buying, and also once I bring it home, my biggest goal is to have 0 waste. It's funny because our trash man says, you guys have no waste. Well, we recycle. I recycle everything. And I know that's a whole nother subject. Some people are like, what's the point of recycling? Because it doesn't really help. But we recycle so much. And then my trash man comes here once a week on a Friday, and I think we have 1 trash bag. So anyway, so always trying to be resourceful. So when it comes to food, now let me just tell you about this. This is a whole chicken, okay? This chicken is $23, okay? It's a Nature's Promise chicken. But I did the math. So, well, one thing I want to tell you before I get into the math is I always go by routine, repeat, and reuse. I have the 3 R's. So I try to reuse, I try to repeat, and I'll tell you about that, and then routine. So routine to me is if you have a few meals that you really like cooking and you know your family likes it, go ahead and make it, 2 or 3 times a month. It's actually better. You save more money. You're not trying to reinvent the wheel all the time. You know everybody likes it. You know it's going to get eaten. And so I encourage you to have more routine. Like you could have Taco Tuesdays or Meatless Mondays. And, just the more routine you have is actually probably better. It saves you more money. But the whole chicken is like one of my faves. And so like I made a whole chicken, and so when I made a whole chicken, I roast it with all the vegetables in the pan, and so then we have that meal. So we have 2 servings that night. Well, I can get anywhere from 4 to 6 other servings out of the meat, because I can give the legs to Jerry with some rice or sweet potato or extra vegetables. I can make a chicken sandwich for Jerry. I can make a nice fresh salad, throw the chicken into that. And then, of course, after those 3 or 4 servings, after we ate it, so that's like a total of 6 or 7 servings, which is, I can't remember. It was like $3, or ended up being $3 or something, less than that. So, but then, of course, I make a really nice vegetable soup, and we have that, and then we have, I have broth, chicken broth left over, and I may freeze it. So this to me is one of the best and most resourceful meals that you can make. Bella is driving me crazy. Hold on. Sorry, she wanted to drink water. So I love that. And then you guys have heard me talk about this before, where I have these little fillets that I get. And again, I know you can go to Costco. I do try to buy at least a little bit more quality food and whatnot. But these are fillets. And like this morning, I made Jerry a steak and broccoli and a sweet potato. And then he has a couple more steaks left. Because what I do is I take these and I cut them lengthwise like this. So I get 4 out of these 2, and this is $6.99. So I get 4 meals out of these 2 fillets, and it's kind of quality meat. And then the other thing is about meat. I stop really using chicken breast unless it's a nice something I want on the plate, like a pretty chicken breast something. But for the most part, for chicken now, I use chicken thighs because it's less expensive. So I use a lot of chicken thighs. And so then the other thing is, too, is like we don't eat a ton of bread, but I do make Jerry some Reuben sandwiches or, turkey sandwiches, chicken sandwiches, or whatever, fresh chicken sandwiches. So I usually buy a half a loaf so it doesn't go to waste, or I buy a whole loaf and then I freeze half of it because we just don't go through a lot and I don't want to waste. I don't want to end up giving it to the birds. So anyway, so those are some of the things. And then, of course, you know how I feel about paper towels. Now, of course, you have to use paper towels, right? You have to use paper towels. Like this morning, I made the steak, so I used a paper towel to get all that grease out of the pan because I didn't want it to go down our drain. So, but in lieu of paper towels, I have this stack in my kitchen drawer of these little towels. It's called Marley's Monsters. You guys have heard me talk about it before. And I use these all the time. Now, I always have to wash clothes, so it's no problem, throwing these in the wash. But these stick right in my drawer next to my kitchen sink. My paper towels are below, but I tend to use these because then also it saves you money because if you don't have to buy as many paper towels, and it's more eco-friendly, right? So it's resourceful. So the last thing, of course, I'm going to show you is we do save our bags, and I do wash our tin foil. So not all, I'll throw it away eventually. I'll put it in recycling. But like this bag, I was going to tell you, I've had since, let's see, so this was like November of 2023. So I've used this many times over. I've washed it and used it many times over, and I've got different sizes in here. So I try to use them as long as I can instead of keep pulling out a new one every time I need one. But when I make Jerry's lunches, I try to use things that we can use, you know, like glass containers, and that we're not using a lot of this plastic stuff. So that's all I had for today. Anyways, I hope that you found it helpful. I just think it's, if you think of repeat, like, you know, I'm so grateful that Jerry likes leftovers, right? Because I can repeat our food throughout the week. Routine is really, really helpful, and then reuse. And so if you can think of those 3 R's, it's kind of helpful in order to, a good way to start thinking of ways that you can be more resourceful. Okay? All right. So that's it. Next Tuesday is the 25th, and it's the last Tuesday of the month, so I will be doing a real estate update for you, and maybe I'll see you this Saturday at Postscript Saturday. Thank you so much for popping by. I cannot see any of the comments when I'm on my computer, so sorry, and I will get that figured out. In the meantime, I hope that you have a wonderful week and that you're going to enjoy some summer fun and maybe the water or the beach or some downtime. I'm not sure. It's very hot here, so I'm staying indoors right now. And so we'll see you next week, all right? In the meantime, thumbs up, lots of love, and keep smiling, okay? All right. Take care, everyone.